Hey, what's up? I'm Mark Bellini, and I'm in my master bathroom right now, or what is going to be my master bathroom. And right now, I've got this big space right here. So there used to be a wall here. This used to be the wall for the bathroom, and then over here was like a vanity area, and then the closet was over there. I instead moved the wall over and got rid of the vanity and made the closet bigger and the bathroom bigger, and I'll have a double vanity here. So it's be a lot better use of space. But I'm left basically trying to figure out how to patch this. And this is simple enough because I can just screw drywall right to these blocks and they're in there solid. The problem is this used to be a wall here, but there's nothing holding this in. This board is just floating here. So it's not attached to anything in the attic at all. It's just floating. So I can't attach drywall to it very well because it's just moving around. It's going to crack and have issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut over until I find a rafter. I'm going to hit it, and then I'm going to go all the way down, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to cut over until a rafter and cut all the way down. And basically what I'm going to do is just put one large piece of drywall in over this whole section, and that'll just be a lot better way to do it than trying to fill this and patch it. So basically I'm going to show you my process of doing that, and what I'm going to do is just start cutting to kind of find where it is, and then cut down, and I'm going to put a I've got like this jack right here, so I can basically put this up and kind of support the ceiling so it doesn't come crashing down on me while I'm working. I'll kind of show some of the tools I got here too. So all that insulation and stuff is going to come down, so I definitely have a respirator and eye protection, so that's very important because it's pretty nasty up there. Drywall screws, got a hand saw. I've also got a rotozip tool. So I'll probably use a combination of those. I've got a drywall planer if I need to kind of fix any edges, rough edges. A pencil so I can mark the drywall. And then I've got my screwdriver here, impact driver. And that's about it. I'm going to be cutting the drywall here and carrying it in and putting it up in place. So that's kind of the rundown of what I'm going to be doing. I'm probably going to do a time lapse because this takes quite a while, and I might check in a little bit later to show you the progress. So I'm going to get started. Okay, so I figured I'd walk you through some of the stuff I'm doing. So what I did is this space right here, I took the handsaw and I cut over until I hit a board right here. So I know that there's a board there, right? And I know for certain that we're 24 inches on center between the different rafters here. So if I take a tape measure and go from here, I know my next rafter is going to be right about here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut and show that here. So I'm just kind of picking a spot and going through. So it kind of stopped right there. So I'll go ahead and measure that. And that's just about right. So basically what I'm going to be doing is removing the drywall, this whole section of drywall all the way through. So I'm going to cut out that whole thing and take this board out as well. So that's another thing to be careful of. When I'm taking out this drywall, I don't want this board to fall down on me. So I might cut out a section and get that board down and then kind of approach the rest of it. I'm also going to take this board out right now so it doesn't fall on me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up real quick and then we'll get to patching this. Okay, so I cleaned everything out and I'm actually gonna throw away that insulation. It's been there for a really long time and I've got replacement insulation that I'll show later. But now is the most difficult or challenging part. So the row zip was super easy. I could just follow the board, go all the way down. It made that really quick, really easy. Instead of having to use this saw, I can just zip right through it. It was really easy. And I'm gonna put a new piece of drywall basically up in this space. The problem is that I cut just along the board right here. So I can't attach the drywall yet. I have to cut back a little bit more. So this board is 1.5 inches thick this way. So I basically have to mark basically 3/4 inch in, put a few marks and draw a line and then take my razor knife and do my best to follow that line and cut that drywall out. So I have a little bit of wood exposed on both sides. And then what I'm gonna do is take my impact driver and secure the drywall that's already here all the way down. I'm gonna secure it so it's locked in place, and then I'm gonna basically put the new board in and then secure that in place. So basically at this point, I'm going to just mark 3/4 inch in, use this as a straight line, and I'll show you how I'm doing that here. So pretty self-explanatory. So just marking 3/4 inch. Quarters. Okay. Do my best to line those up. The ceiling is actually not level. See, there's a bow going on. So it's not ideal. But it is the way it is. Just gonna do my best to draw a line there. So I drew that line in, and then gonna basically cut that out. And this is not so fun because you actually have to cut it out, so it takes a lot of force to kind of get in there. So I'll probably time lapse this because it takes a little while. But basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over it again and again and again and again until I start actually cutting through most of the drywall, if not all of it. And then I'll do whatever I have to do to get it out. Okay, so I know I said I was gonna cut through it with the razor knife, and that is a way you can go. I was thinking about how to make that faster because it takes a lot of work, and yeah, I want to see if there's a power tool I can use. So I have not tried this yet, but I'm going to use an oscillating tool. Let's kind of just go along that line, see if I can cut it out without having to use so much force, basically, with the razor knife. I'm going to put on a mask and glasses here, just so I don't get a bunch of stuff in my face and breathe it all in. But we'll give this a go. That works a lot better. Yeah, that really helps give it a nice clean edge. When I was doing this before, when I was just with the razor knife, it was leaving it pretty jagged. So this is going to be a lot better way to go. So I'm going to keep going at it. Okay, so it is completely cut out now. The oscillating tool was awesome. It really sped things up a whole lot instead of using just the razor knife. This made it go way faster and have a nice a lot cleaner line too. So at this point, just about ready to put in a new sheet of drywall here, but so on center, basically this is 24 inches on center is the measurement here. And so it's basically what that means is from the center of this board to the center of this board should be 24 inches. And if I measure that out, it's basically almost exactly 24 inches, just about perfect. So that is right on. And so what I'm gonna do is be 24 inches wide, and then just gonna measure the length here to see where we're at lengthwise. It looks like it's about 59, just about 59 or so. Maybe a 16th. But before we do that, what I want to do is I want to make sure everything is secured. So I'm going to take some screws and screw in the boards that are already here. So I'm going to take, pop in a few extra screws on each side here just to make sure everything is really secure. When you're doing this, you want to make sure to sink the head of the screw just below the surface, just a little bit. There's special guns, there's a special attachment for these that you can use so you don't go too deep. If you go too deep, you'll break the drywall, break the paper and go through, and it doesn't really hold anything at that point. So just be careful not to go too deep, but deep enough so that you can cover it with drywall mud. Go ahead and show you here real quick what it's looking like. So, sorry the lighting's not the best, but as you can see, about half the board is showing. So that's what I'm going to attach the new drywall to, and I secured it in place, these boards, just to be certain. But this is what it's looking like right now. And first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some new insulation up there, actually. So I've got this new insulation here, and I went ahead and went with the paper backing. If you can see this, there's paper on the back here, and that is a vapor barrier. So we want that to go basically down. And so I'm going to go ahead and try and put this in place and hope that it kind of stays there. Okay, not perfect, but it's, hopefully it'll stay there. And then I have a smaller piece I'm going to stick in there real quick. Now this piece is a little bit too big, so what you'll have to do is take your razor knife and cut it to whatever size you need. Make sure to wear gloves, because you don't want this stuff all over you. Okay, got the smaller piece. I'm gonna try and stick it right in there. Okay. So at this point, we're ready to go. I'm going to go cut the drywall and put it in place. So I believe it was 24 inches by 59. I'm going to measure again just to be sure. And 59, yeah, and the 16th, I think I said. Yeah, let's do that. So what I have here is this drywall T-square. These things come really, really handy. So what I'm gonna do is measure out that size I need. So it was 59 inches long. So I'm gonna grab a tape measure. Uh, 59 and 1/16, I believe. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark that. Okay. And then it was 24 inches. So we're gonna go across exactly 24 inches. And then you can take the drywall square and draw your line. I like to put my knee on it here, so this doesn't, when I draw the line, it doesn't move. Kind of hold it here and okay, there's that line. Same process over here. When I'm cutting this, I actually like to keep this around because it really helps you cut a straight line as well. So you take your razor knife, line it up to that line. You can use it as a guide to cut or just to score the paper. You're not cutting through the drywall, you're just scoring it. Just like that. And right there. And to make this a little easier on myself, I'm gonna go ahead and cut through on this one. And I'll show you why. Okay, so that's all been cut, or scored, I should say. And so I'm gonna go ahead and lift this up. And so I scored all the way down right here. Or actually, let me move the camera up a little bit. So I scored all the way down right here. And why I do that is because it just makes it easier to get this piece out. So what I'm gonna do is just knee it right here. It'll snap. And take your eraser knife and cut the back end of the paper here. There. Oh, so that one broke. But same process. Snapped, and then just like that. So we'll see what happens here. Okay. Sometimes your head comes in handy. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and shave down a little bit of the board because it's just a little too tight. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try and screw this thing into place here. About 3 or 4 screws should hold it, but just be careful. Okay, so it's all finished up. It was a little rough there at the end, but this is what we're left with. So here's the patch. There's a little bit of gapping there in some spots, but it's not a huge deal. What I'm gonna do is go in there with a little bit of mud, joint compound, fill that in, and then tape it, and then mud it again, and I'm just gonna float that out until it's nice, nice smooth sealing. And I'll put paper tape for the joints there. And then this whole section here I'm going to deal with later. I'm going to get a new vanity, so all this drywall here is going to get torn out to fit the new plumbing for the vanity. But yeah, that was an interesting little project, but that's basically how you patch a hole in the ceiling or repatch a section in the ceiling. So if you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.